Yo people, welcome back to the YouTube channel. You already know what time it is. Lateness is greatness for this not so daily dosage of transfer news. Now listen, I have to keep it down because we have got a lot to say and a lot to speak about since the last time we did one of these. But of course, as well, extra news that broke just before I was about to record this. In Armando Broja, a 35 million euro pound bid is on the table from West Ham. So I guess that's your breaking news, right? That's your breaking news to lead. Now, in my opinion, you reject that bid immediately. You tell them to go and themselves and you keep it moving swiftly and sensibly. Now, if you would like to come back in for a Chelsea striker, I will sell you Michy Batshuayi for the same price for you, my friend. Do you know what I'm saying? West Ham. You need a striker. He's Belgium, experienced, won us a title way back when under Conte in 2017. Did a madness at Dortmund and we failed to take the 60 million. I think it was 40. We asked for 60. Go for it. That's your opportunity. There you go. That's your offer. Because of course you have not always played ball with us. So we are not going to play it with you. 35 million euros is a ridiculous offer for a player that we need. We don't have many strikers, if any, you know, and pre-season starts in LA. So Armando, don't even worry about that, sweetheart. Do you know what I'm saying? Just focus on the prize, which is playing for Chelsea, because there is a real slot for you open and you shouldn't just, you know, let it walk away. 5-year deal was signed last summer, so no pressure to sell. I don't want to be rolling over for West Ham anytime soon. So listen, there's the table, there's the bid. Flip the table, flip the bid. Do you know what I'm saying? We ain't playing these games. Let's move on to Ake. Now, I didn't speak about it yesterday because obviously London Clubs Carnage had to come out, but Nathan Ake will not be joining Chelsea, of course. Manchester City have made their decision on who they're letting go and who they're keeping. Zinchenko is the one to go and Ake is the one to stay. So, of course, that means we will not be signing two left-sided centre-backs. Now, maybe a lot of you would have predicted that this would happen, that we wouldn't be signing two left-sided centre-backs, according to some of the reports, and it was just competing for both players and a little bit of, you know, putting pressure on one or the other to accept one of our bids. We were always going to get one or the other. Some reports said that, some reports said otherwise, because of course we were always looking for three centre-backs and we were only ever linked with Kimpembe, Ake and Koulibaly. There was no other option that was linked. Koundé, you know, links went quiet. Marina wanted him. Tuchel was not so keen in terms of, you know, priorities or targets. So we thought two left footers, it must be, but it is not. And thank God, because it made no sense. And that's why I question it on All You Can Eat Chelsea. It didn't really make any sense to me. And I'm really happy because it does leave a pathway for Levi Colwill. But we are under no pressure. Of course, if he still wishes to leave, even though we are signing potentially only one left-footed centre-back in Kimpembe, but we'll talk about that in a minute in terms of him. No bid, of course, yet, just early stages and discussions. That still leaves another left-footer in there if you're taking away Malang Sarr. Now, if he still wishes to leave, that's fine. I don't think Chelsea are under any pressure. They still have, you know, Ampadu who can play on that side. Trevor Chalobah can play on that side. He played on that side for FC Lorient on his loan out in France. So you have options to play left side centre back. Koulibaly, of course, can play left side centre back in a 3, of course, as well. So you have options. You're under no pressure. But if you wish to fight for your slot, if you wish to play for your place, then it is there wide open for you to take with both hands, Levi. So really happy with that. One left sider makes sense. Balance. Do you know what I'm saying? As I was saying on Twitter, the brain, chemicals, they're all balanced for Tuchel now. He's got some water. Maybe the heat was getting to the head. Do you know what I'm saying? The head is heavy. Do you know what I'm saying, as they say. So happy, very happy, because the other link is Jules Kounde. So we're going to bring that up as well. £51 million around about from some sources, but I'm waiting for more concrete sources to come out and confirm this is the roundabout fee that Sevilla are looking for. Of course, they need to sell this guy. They were anticipating that we would bid earlier, but we've kind of made them wait. And I think rightly so. They've played games, you know. This is chess, not checkers, ladies and gentlemen. They've moved their pieces, their queen, their king. And now we're moving our king. And our king is Todd. And, you know, our king can move many spaces on this board, so don't play games with us, because we've already shown that we'll make you wait. And I'm happy that we have, because, look, I wanted to make it clear as well that Tuchel actually wants him. Don't bring in a player that he doesn't want. But, of course, if he's happy and he seems keen to bring the player in despite not being a priority, then in comes Koundé potentially on that right-hand side, and I think that's proper balance. Although I felt, and still do feel, 3 centre-backs is a bit much, at the very least, you're bringing in a centre-back for the right and a centre-back for the left. That makes more sense. That's balanced chemically, like I said, in the brains. So that's Koundé and Trevor competing. And let's talk a little bit about the players. Of course, we've spoken about Koundé with Julian Laurens many a time on this channel before, because we've been linked with him for the last 2 transfer windows. This is a player that, of course, is very good technically, very modern-day centre-back, wants to carry the ball into the opposition half. And I think even though he's been playing in the 4 at Sevilla, and Now at the 3, potentially with Chelsea, I think the 3 may even suit him more. He's played in the back 3 a few times for France as well. He's played right back for France, so he kind of acts as sneaky cover for Reece James in a 4. I think the player in a 3 will thrive even more because he's able to make those dribbles that you've probably seen on YouTube comps. He likes to carry the ball. He scored that brilliant goal, of course, against Barcelona. Wonderful carrier, good dribbler. Now, one thing I do have with him, I'm interested to see as he improves, maybe as he gets older, is selection of pass in the opposition half. When you do make that dribble, when you do move into the opposition half and now it's time to pick the right pass, sometimes he does give it away. His passing accuracy does drop off to a decent extent in the opposition half in comparison to in his own half. And of course, in your own half, maybe it's easier, maybe more time, who knows, more options to pick from, or just more space. But when you're in the opposition half, that's when you've got to make that punchy pass, and sometimes he does get it a bit wrong. Like I said, the passing accuracy drops off a little bit there. Trevor Chalobah, who is getting a lot of stick from Chelsea fans, another young centre-back, similar age to Koundé, 23, 22, right? Got a lot of stick mid-season for having a rough patch and was thrown into categories he never belonged in. And if you look at his passing accuracy, you can check it on all the apps, really high percentage passing accuracy in his half and also in the opposition half, and a very good switcher of the ball. So I think, and I said it many a time on this channel, I felt like the treatment or the stigma around Trevor Chalobah in the middle part of the season when he was struggling was far too harsh from Chelsea fans, in my opinion, especially when you saw at the start of the season just how great he was against Villarreal and all those games at the beginning of the season, scoring that wonderful goal from outside the box, some brilliant goals he scored. I think these two are going to be quite close. I don't expect Koundé to just walk all over him. Yes, he's a very good technical centre-back and he's got a lot of promise, but like I said, there's probably areas in his game he'll have to improve. People have mentioned the height. We mentioned that and talked about that with Jules before when he was on the channel ages ago, about the height of Koundé. Of course, not the tallest, but has a very good spring and a good leap. Although for aerial duels in La Liga, around about 58 to 59% aerial duels won. So could, especially coming to a more physical league where maybe, you know, players will look to pin their opposition striker. We're going to be dealing with the Erling Haalands, etc. of this world. Nunes, very tall physical player as well. They may pin that striker and see just how Koundé fares with that player. So listen, there's going to be areas of Koundé's game where he needs to improve. He's not perfect. I know he's new. I know he's flashy potentially if he comes in, but very important to note for me that Trevor had a very good first season here. And if they do end up competing in the right side centre-back spot, I do think it will be quite close. And Trevor's obviously going into his second season in the Premier League. That will help. So very interesting times there. If Koundé plays right back, that's good depth. I don't particularly think right wing back is for him. Again, same with Ake. I don't really want centre-backs in wing back areas, pushing up the pitch and being in winger type areas. So that's on Koundé. Now, let's talk about Kimpembe. Kimpembe is another one that we're linked with as well. That's Tuchel's top target, along with what we thought was Nathan Ake, now no longer. Kimpembe, very good player, of course, but again, in my opinion, can still improve. I wouldn't put either of these two centre-backs right in the world-class category yet, because maybe my standards for world-class are just maybe too high, but for me, like centre-backs like Marquinhos, like Thiago Silva, Van Dijk, they're world-class to me. These guys are in the category below. They still have things to improve, still have things to show. Kimpembe, we spoke about actually with Jules. I'll leave the video there for you to check it out in a segment. Wasn't the main topic, but was a part of a segment just in case we got him, or potentially do get him, or bid for him at least. You can understand a little bit more about the player from a journalist point of view. Kimpembe, really aggressive, you know, sometimes overcommits, sometimes concentration issues in latter parts of games that Julian Laurens said as well, but that could be because PSG dominate the majority of their games in Ligue 1. And does he get tested defensively as much as he needs to? Potentially not. You know, is it really as, you know, difficult each and every game as it would be for Chelsea in the Premier League, where you could drop points to absolutely everyone? So his concentration, if that is an issue, that's something to look at. But his passing accuracy is really strong. Of course, PSG dominate the ball. His passing in his own half and in the opposition half is still very, very high. Aerial duels, very high as well. It'll be interesting to see if he can lead a defense, if he has to. You know, he's played with Thiago Silva, so there's chemistry there. He's played with Marquinhos, there's obviously a leader there as well. So it'll be interesting to see if he can stand up and lead a defense if called upon. Played for France, of course, and they've got an array of brilliant centre-backs to choose from, in Konate and, you know, Koundé and Zuma and Varane and, you know, Hernandez. They've got so many centre-backs to choose from, Saliba. So France are gifted. So the fact that he's got caps, and quite a few of them, you know, that's good, because that shows that he can compete against the top centre-backs potentially on the planet in terms of, you know, up-and-coming centre-backs. They've really got a ridiculous array of options. So I'm very excited to see how these two get on if they come in, or one or the other. It will be interesting to see if we get both. Now, Tuchel has commented on this whole 3 centre-back situation to clarify, because sometimes when we hear 3 defenders in quotes, we think, is it 2 centre-backs and 1 wing-back? He mentioned, via Football London with Adam Newson, who's out in America there, if Aspie does go to Barcelona, which it does seem that he will, that's something that he wants. I'm sure the club will grant him his wishes as long as they meet our, fee and etc. in terms of finances. Then he does want 3 centre-backs. That's why he was saying at times, or you've seen it reported, that he wants to keep Aspie in the team. If he does let Aspie go, he wants 3 centre-backs, and Koulibaly would be 1, and then Kimpembe and Koundé seem to be the front runners now. And I think Koundé is a great replacement for Aspie. When we speak about those aerial tussles that he could get himself into, Aspie, not the tallest, but managed to handle himself, and that's part of developing, that's part of getting used to it. And the league, as you get older, you start to understand it. But I think, Tuchel knows what he's doing with the centre-backs in terms of even Ake. I wouldn't say Ake was ever one of my strong targets or a player that I dreamed of having back at Stamford Bridge. But, we did a video on Ake and De Ligt, how and why Tuchel may want him, because we know Tuchel worked with defenders and he's done very well to bring them up a level. Rudiger, he was rash, he may be overcommitted, he made stupid fouls, maybe something Kimpembe may do, but Tuchel got a hold of him, calmed him down, and turned him into a world-class centre-back in a certain system. So I wouldn't be surprised if these 2 players, who I think will flourish in the 3, even though they play in the 4, they both played with 3 at France, a handful of times I've seen, but they play for 4, they play back for Sevilla and PSG. But I do think with the attributes that they have, stepping up, they want to carry the ball. They're both good at carrying the ball. They're both good passers. They're both modern day full centre-backs. I think they'll actually do maybe even better in the 3, because, any of this, concentration or rash or aerial issue or any little things that may flag up, that's easier to negate and look after in a 3 than it is in a 4. And if you've got a Koulibaly or a Silva in the middle, then listen, you can't ask for much better to learn from and to get used to the Premier League. So I'm looking forward to these 2 players if they do come in. We're going to maybe speak more on them if official bids are put in, of course, breaking news, etc. But right now, that's my initial thoughts on that. Just happy that we're not getting 2 left-footed centre-backs. And if we are getting 3, there's balance and there's there's country connection, there's nationality connection there, there's some form of chemistry. We've got some with Koulibaly and Mendy, so I like it. Silva's work with Kimpembe. If you're making an ultimate team defense, like I said on a thumbnail recently, it's 99. There's chemistry, there's green lines, there's connections. It's beautiful. It's absolutely wonderful. Now, let's also finalize this video with a little something. Now, I want to return to this point. 35 million. No. I don't want to see when this comes out, that we've accepted that bid. Seriously, just whatever landed on the table, just walk away. Just walk away. Just smile and wave, boys. Just smile and wave. And speaking of smiling and waving, I'm gonna leave y'all. Y'all smash up the icons. Lord of mercy. Big up your damn selves. In a bit, people. Peace.